This is Jonathan Kirsten with the Pittsburgh Technology Council and TechVibe Radio, bringing you the TechVibe Radio Geek Out with Proofpoint, where we are exploring all things around Proofpoint, really their technology, their culture, how they're giving back to the community. And today's episode is going to be just a ton of fun because we are talking about, for lack of a better term, the Proofpoint University. It's their cool intern co-op program, which I think is just so cool. I love the idea of tech companies going into the universities and working with them to bring students in, get them working on real life projects, see how that fits. Maybe they become really good hires. And it's just a great way to get talent connected to tech here, especially in Pittsburgh, where so many companies like Proofpoint really need that talent. And Proofpoint is literally one of Pittsburgh's top cybersecurity companies. And we've got two great guests hanging out with us today on both sides of the whole co-op equation. We have Sean Ehrman, who's the Director of Security Awareness and Training and Customer Support. And we have one Kyle Thorpe, who's a software engineer at Proofpoint, who went through that program. So I'm really excited to learn about, how this program works for Proofpoint, what it was like going through it, and how they continue to use this as a great recruiting tool. So guys, welcome to the show today. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thanks for having
Appreciate
us.
it.
So let's start with some introductions so our listeners and our viewers know exactly who is who in this situation. So Sean, let's start with you. What does it mean to be the director there of security awareness and training customer support?
So basically, I get to work with a great team of professionals across the company. My main focus is leading the customer support group here at Proofpoint for our security awareness training products. I have engineers, senior support engineers that I work with on a day-to-day basis, and we try our best to provide the top level of customer support when it comes to our products, the technical things that go on in the industry, and also to actually work with the engineers on their career path. So part of my job as a leader is to challenge people to make sure they're doing what's expected, and then what can we get them to the next level? Like, where do they want to be? What actions do we have to put in place to get them to that next level? My tenure, I've been here for 7 years this month, working with security awareness and training. So it's been exciting, it's been challenging, and just a real good place to work.
I mean, 7 years is saying something pretty rad. I mean, obviously you can work wherever you want to work. You're hanging out with Proofpoint for 7 years. That means you're having a good time. I feel like you could be like a coach, right? At the end of the day.
I could, and sometimes I am.
Absolutely. So Kyle, you're working software there. You're a software engineer at Proofpoint. What's up with that gig? That sounds like you get to have a lot of fun as well too.
So I'm a software engineer at Proofpoint now. Obviously, I've been through the co-op program with Proofpoint. I've been working full time here for about 6 months now, and along with 3 semesters of co-op rotation, so that ends up being about 10 months of work. I work primarily on one of our back-end projects, but I've also been helping out with some front-end stuff recently, so kind of a mixed bag of things.
Very cool. I'm really excited to learn more about your experience going through the co-op program and how that kind of got you into Proofpoint. Because I think that's where the magic happens as far as it is. Before we jump into that though, Sean, let's just talk a little bit about the co-op program at Proofpoint. Give me some of the details and the basics and how you guys make this thing work.
Okay, so overall, like Proofpoint, we basically are a global company headquartered out of California, and our internship and co-op program is pretty robust. It's a robust initiative. We have been doing this in over 10 locations around the world. There's a variety of opportunities, whether it be in software engineering, threat operations, threat research, marketing, sometimes in the HR, even sales, and then again,
sales
support,
too.
Support, QA, development, all those things. And basically, we have different rotations. We have some summer internships, and we have this co-op program, and typically it all starts in the fall. And up through the summer, our university relations team actively recruits on college campuses at career fairs and events. Of course, this past year, it's all been virtual, right? We've all been kind of in a virtual world like we are today. And basically what we'll do is we'll open up internship and co-op positions. We post them on our career website, And our university relations team is really who the interns or the candidates or the co-ops would reach out to. And that basically they reach out to a university relations at proofpoint.com with any request or specific questions that they may have about our programs. And typically that all gets posted, like I said, to our career website.
Gotcha. And typically, how many students go through the program at a time?
So in Pittsburgh, we basically, with the co-op that I help coordinate here, we have one usually per year, and they go through different rotations. But Proofpoint as a whole has a whole host of interns, summer interns, and co-op programs that they run, like I said, across those 10 locations.
Wow, this is like a legit operation going on here. You got people moving in, moving out. And what I think is really interesting about it is the fact that as someone goes through it, they're seeing all different aspects of Proofpoint and different things that you do. Can you talk to us more about that?
Absolutely. So I'll speak specifically for Pittsburgh, but I know it happens at the other locations of Proofpoint as well. What the goal is to give real world experience to any of the summer interns, co-ops, interns in general. And how we do it in Pittsburgh, and we've been doing it for about 5 or 6 years now successfully with a local university. Now we've done internships, summer internships that with other universities where we've actually hired those people on at the end of the program. That's the goal, because we're investing time, they're investing time, and at the end of it, there's a real good idea of how that person works. With the local university that we do the co-op program with, we try to bring somebody in at customer support. This way they get to learn our products, our processes.
That's interesting. That's the front lines right there. I mean, you're seeing where the rubber hits the road at that point, huh?
Exactly. And they not only will they learn our products, they learn all of our processes and systems and how the customer actually uses the product. So it could be something where they actually start taking and working troubleshooting and problem replication, and get to then engage with our QA folks, our development, and our product manager. So it exposes them to all different levels of management, leadership, and different parts of the organization throughout that program. They'll come in and start with support. They usually go back for school for rotation, come back in, and usually bring them into our quality assurance, which is our QA group. This way, they can start doing tests in whether it be manual testing or automated testing with our products, helping the other organizations learning their processes in their department, and applying what they've learned of the product from the first rotation, what they've actually learned in school about these topics and the different tools that the school teach, and then apply it hands-on with our quality assurance team. And if they do a third rotation, it's usually with our dev team. So talk about a well-rounded experience. You start with support, how the customer uses it, how to test it, and then how to code, keeping all that in mind so that you can say, okay, I know this is how the customer is going to use it, or how it's written that the customer is going to use it. How do I test that to make sure that it's actually working as expected? And now as a developer, how do I code keeping all that in mind?
Wow. I mean, that is like literally nuts to bolts going across. I mean, you can want to go back to school actually and get into a program so you guys can put me into the rotations, because I think it sounds like a really great way to learn the business as far as that is. So I'm assuming this must be just so valuable. I mean, on just both sides, because as a student going through it, I mean, you're getting exposure you would just never get in the classroom, obviously, and you're seeing all sides of the business. And then from your end, you're getting firsthand look at someone that could really help Proofpoint move forward, because they're seeing all aspects of the business. And if it seems like there's a good relationship to turn that into full-time employment, everyone knows exactly what's going on. It's like, where the coffee machine is day one, right? Or at least the virtual coffee machine at this point, of course, all in our kitchens. So I digress. So I'm really excited. Kyle, talk to you more about your experience going through this, because I mean, Sean has me so excited here. I think I want to go back to school so I can be part of this. So tell me what it's been like. And obviously you're with the University of Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. I was originally introduced to Proofpoint through the co-op office at the University of Pittsburgh. This is at the time they were Wombat Security Technologies, and then they were acquired by Proofpoint. But after talking to Sean at the co-op fair, which is a fair where a bunch of companies come in, talk to students to look for people who can do co-ops or internships with them. But after talking to Sean at this co-op fair, and then a few more employees at an interview, I really knew I wanted to work with Proofpoint, because what they do just seemed so interesting to me. I'd never really considered like the people-centric aspect of cybersecurity, because most people think of cybersecurity as firewalls and hacking, but
exactly.
This is it's like a very important part of cybersecurity, and it's more relevant today than ever before.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And so, I mean, and just the idea of, I mean, going through 3 rotations of this, I mean, you're really committing yourself to this organization as you do it. And especially as someone, with an engineering background the way you do, what was it like to see all these different aspects of Proofpoint? I'm assuming that has to really help your engineering skills because you're seeing these aspects maybe you wouldn't normally see in a more traditional like internship.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like Sean said, it's the idea is to make a very well-rounded developer in the end. So, you go in and see things from the customer's perspective, the kind of issues they have, and then you move on to testing, and then you're coding and you're like developing tests, but you're seeing a different side of the development. And then once you move into the development rotation, you actually get to build out the product and you take in all these different experiences that you've had. And it also helps that you meet like really talented people along the way, and you can use them as resources when you're working on a problem.
Very, very cool. I mean, this has been really cool. Like when you're in school doing this, you go back into the classroom. It's got a really impact when you're taking classes. I mean, I'd almost probably be laughing at my class at that point because it's like I'm actually getting real world experience here. What was that like doing both at the same time?
Oh yeah, I mean it's very useful to take what you learn in like co-op rotations and bring it back into the classroom because the real world is quite different from the classroom. But I can definitely think of many times where something I learned on a co-op rotation or technology that I used became useful in something like a group project at school. And uh, another thing is like when you're doing the co-op rotations, you're usually taking only one or no classes at the same time. That's so you can focus on that and not like suffer with your class or something. But it is difficult sometimes to balance if you're taking a class at night after work, but it's super rewarding at the end.
I can imagine. Plus, I mean, it's thrusting you into that real world scenario as well, too, where you're juggling many things at one time. It's not just focusing on studying, but you're responsible for deadlines and getting stuff done at work and deadlines and stuff at school. So yeah, it's got to keep you busy. That's
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
sure. Absolutely. I mean, I'm assuming this has to just really positively impacted your career overall at Proofpoint because I think it polished you up as an engineer, just ready to hit the ground running and just be able to participate and contribute in ways someone not going through this would be able to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the co-op was probably the most valuable experience I've had in college, just because I could reference it in pretty much any interview I've had, just to show that I've had real world experience and that I've worked with developers much more senior than I am, and just I'm able to bring this experience to the table.
Very cool. I bet you're probably looking forward to, as the years go by, you then being able to work with students as they come through the co-op program and provide your help and assistance and bring the next generation through as well too, huh?
Oh, definitely. I mean, whenever one of my friends who's still in college is looking for an internship, I still like tell them, hey, look into Proofpoint because I love it
Exactly.
here.
That's super cool. See, Sean, this makes me so happy. I hear like the Proofpoint's doing this, and just they obviously starting with the Wombat and it transitioning over to Proofpoint and how this continues to grow and just impact people and the company as positively as it does. Maybe give us a little more of your perspective about what what you look for in students as they are looking to join the ranks, with Kyle and so forth at Proofpoint.
So, when we were at the fairs and we're actually meet face to face with the candidates, we look for somebody who is enthusiastic, who's asking the right questions, presents himself well, communicates well, because a lot of this is going to be communicating across departments, right? Communicate with your team, other teams, and at various levels within the organization. And I think Kyle will attest to this. Before his rotation with support ended, we went up and met the manager of the QA group and said, hey, this is our co-op, so you'll be hearing from him. And, we make those introductions all the way up to the VP of development for our division, because it's important for them to know this is the person that's coming through our program. And, this is somebody you're going to need to look for coming up the ranks throughout the program. So we do those introductions. We look for that communication skill set.
Mm-hmm.
And for me personally, with them starting in support, we look for somebody who can work on a team as well as be a self-starter and to think about things and say, hey, what about this? And can I tackle this? And can handle anything we throw at them as well. And quite honestly, every intern and every co-op that we've had has been able to do that when we came through our support organization. And we set the bar high with our first guy, and I always tell the co-op when they come in, I'm like, hey, you'll meet this person. They work here now. They can give you advice, and they set the bar high. So you got to meet those expectations, and it always works out well. We've
Kyle
had
has some big shoes to fill when,
oh,
when the next person comes in.
He did, and look where he's at now today. So that's the end goal for us, is to give them real life experience, and also at the end of this, we'd like to hire on that person because they understand everything, and people already know them. If they're interviewing within the company, they already have references within the company, and it's basically up to them to get the job then.
I was gonna say, I mean, at that point, I mean, obviously Proofpoint's invested quite a bit. If someone's gone through 3 rotations, I mean, you put an investment into that person. And so I think the idea would be, let's make sure this person's the right fit. And that they know the ropes, they know what's expected of them. So try to make that happen would be really cool. So I'm just curious, like, as you get onboarded into Proofpoint, I know as I've done these the other podcasts before, it just seems like there's tremendous opportunity to grow within the organization. And like I said, having someone like you, Sean, around that kind of coaches that person to the next level. What's the path like in Proofpoint? It seems like you can just keep working your way up if you want to.
Absolutely. So when it comes to like our co-op position, you're getting well-rounded in support, in QA, in development as well. So as somebody would come into either a support role, then there's actually areas in support where you can go into customer success, you can go into managed services, you can go into a senior support role. In QA, you could start off as a QA analyst, do manual testing, automation testing, and work your ranks up through QA. And then also in development, come in as basically a college grad, first time developer, and work your way through the development course and go into something like PM or in the sales. And there's a lot of opportunities throughout the internships and the co-op opportunities here.
Very cool stuff. Just a fascinating conversation. I'm just curious, like, any final thoughts, anything we haven't covered when it comes to, the whole co-op experience at Proofpoint?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that Proofpoint's internship and co-op program has definitely been accommodating. So for example, when I came in for my second rotation, Proofpoint didn't even have co-ops. So they only had summer interns, and I worked with the university relations team to continue on the path that I was already on. So I definitely think they're very accommodating. And then even during my summer rotation, I was able to virtually join the events that they had at the Sunnyvale office. So the other interns that are in California and other areas around the country were able to join in and be a part of this. But yeah, I definitely think it's just an excellent place to start your career, or start your career as an intern or as a full-time position.
Very cool stuff.
And I think our university relations group does a great job of making sure the co-ops have the information they need, are engaged and involved, and especially during the times that we have like today, where a lot of us are working from home. We just had a new co-op start with us, doing a fantastic job with support, already kind of like exceeding expectations, and it's like the second or third week. So
that's fantastic. COVID will not keep you down. Working remote will not keep you guys down, not in the least.
And they're also challenged, to talk to one another within the organization, and also to do a presentation at the end of the rotation, which may scare some people off, but it's, by the time I think you get through your rotation, you're kind of like one of the team.
I was gonna say, nothing to be afraid of then.
No,
I mean, come
not
on.
At all. We take it easy on everybody when they go through the rotation. So
no extra grilling or anything like that.
Oh yeah, we do that.
Okay, I would hope so. Come on.
That's why that good communication skill is necessary.
Yeah. So, any last advice if anyone's interested? Even if you're a parent out there and you're listening, you want to encourage your child to go and apply. So if they're in college, any final advice?
Yeah, so I'm a parent, and what I'm going to tell my kids is get involved with a co-op program. Make sure you do an internship, get that real world experience, because it's either going to tell you what you like or dislike about your career path. And if you know that as you go through your schooling, it can help direct you with that actual degree or with that career choice coming out of school and what area you're going to be successful in. So definitely, if I could have done it when I was in college, I would have absolutely taken advantage of it. And I'm glad Kyle did with the program that he went through with us as well.
Well, you see me now. I want to go back to college if I could be part of this. Great stuff, guys. I can't thank you enough for being part of this. I think it's just a fascinating conversation. And it's just one of those things that makes me proud to be in Pittsburgh because there's Proofpoint here doing these types of programs and bringing, engineers like Kyle along here. I think it's just fantastic. You guys, you tell an awesome story. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Everybody, this has been Jonathan Kirsting with the Pittsburgh Technology Council and TechVibe Radio doing our TechVibe Geek Out with Proofpoint. We got some more episodes coming with Proofpoint. So much fun stuff going on there. Can't wait to get more to it.